Hey hipster, now you know me as the one who loves Epcot. I love everything that it's about, and I especially love drinking around the world. But there comes a time, I call it the Epcot Twilight Zone, when you see the sun going down and you see those docile little adults turned into kids doped up on cotton candy. However, cotton candy is not the problem. The culprit here is alcohol. So that's why today we're gonna go over the do's and don'ts of drinking around the world at Epcot. And yes, there are rules that we're gonna get to. These are the rules. We're gonna also go over some tips for you to have a safe but fun drinking around the world Epcot bar tour. The first do or don't is to bring sunglasses. Yes, you wanna bring sunglasses to hide those tipsy eyes, because I don't know if you are aware, but sometimes I get a little self-conscious if I meet somebody out there at Epcot that I wasn't planning on meeting and I've had a couple of glasses of wine. I get a little self-conscious, like, do they know I am a little tipsy? Am I too loud? Because I get a little loud when I'm tipsy. So I bring glasses. Don't try to complete every drink in each country. I know you're gonna kick me out of the drinking club, but you are not gonna survive. There's 11 countries. You're not gonna survive if you try to complete every drink in each country. That's why we're gonna talk about sharing the drinks later. I know with everything going on, you may need to go with somebody you really trust, bring your own separate straws or own cups so you can divide up the drink. But you don't want to try to complete every drink in every country. Do eat a nice, hearty, big breakfast or lunch or brunch before you start your drinking around the world tour. You want to make sure that you have a nice full stomach. That way it can absorb some of that alcohol and that you are not passed out or sick around World Showcase. You don't want to be sick in the Norway Pavilion right before you get unfrozen. You want to enjoy Arendelle and all of the people who live in Arendelle without feeling like you're going to throw up on the side of the boat. Don't start with heavy liquor. Yes, I know, heavy liquor, you want your tequila shots in Mexico, you want all that good stuff. But if I were going to do this drinking around the world tour, I would either stick with wine or beer, just because you're not going to get that crazy buzz right away. But I know that's no fun, but I'm just trying to give you the rules so that you can survive the 11 countries. Do pace yourself and take breaks. Plan out this world tour of Epcot and know about the countries and where they are. That way that you can know that, okay, for every 2 countries, I am going to stop, I'm gonna walk around and enjoy the country I'm in and enjoy my drink. I might get a little bit of snack in between. So just pace yourself or just sit down in the AC area, cool off, and you'll be fine. Don't try to drink outside in the Florida heat. I know it's very hard because there's not many options for you to just keep walking around in places indoors in Epcot. But if you can, try to find an area that has a little shade that you can sit under, or you just walk through the stores if some stores allow you to bring your beverage in. But just try to think of areas that you can enjoy your drink in that are AC. Luckily, Mexico is a great area if you're starting out, because you can drink your drink inside the World Showcase Pavilion. And some of the stores that are in World Showcase in some of the various countries have a indoor-outdoor kind of a vibe. So you can go in there and walk around with your drinks if they allow, like I said before. So just try to be in the AC as much as possible, because you do not want to be out there drinking alcohol in that Florida heat. Do drink lots of water. This should be understood. If you're not a big water drinker, well, today on your Epcot Around the World Showcase drinking tour, you need to be a fan of water. For every drink that you do participate in during your tour around the World Showcase, then you need to have a glass of water, or better yet, most likely a bottle of water or a half a bottle. But you want to be gulping down that water so that you can have a safe and fun trip. And I don't want you to think that these tips are to make you have a bad time because you want to feel a buzz. You will feel a buzz. It's alcohol. It's going to be in your system. But what you do not want to do is where you don't know what you're doing. You don't want to lose control, and you don't want to get sick. Don't take shots. I know, I'm so sorry. Did I ruin it for you? Now, if you want to do shots, that could be on a regular day where you're not trying to conquer every country. And you just do a shot and you're not drinking really much the rest of that day. But if you're trying to do drinking around the world tour, just don't do shots. Simple. Do eat between your drinks. Now, This is the fun part. I'm giving you something fun to balance out those shots. Now, as you are getting your drink from each country, you should think about getting a snack or some type of food item that is particular to that country. That way you can do a drinking around the world tour and a eating around the world tour. It's a lot of fun. I love the eating part and I love the drinking part, but I really love the eating part. Don't drink more than one drink from each country. Yes, we're just tasting. This is kind of like our own improvised food and wine festival, but you can do it throughout the year. You don't have to wait to the festival. So you just want to try something particular to that country. Like I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it where I'm just going to have wine. And I'm going to try a particular wine from that country, or a beer if you're a beer person. And on other days, I might get a cocktail if I'm not really trying to do that drinking around the world thing. Do have a designated driver. If you are staying on property, then this is something you don't have to think about because you can just take Disney transportation back to your resort room. But if you are driving in or if you're staying off-site, please plan to have someone to take you back to your resort. Either that be the resort shuttle, or if you have a rideshare app on your phone, just have a designated driver. We want to be safe out here. Don't drink too quickly. I know, I am like going to get kicked out of this invisible drinking club, but you don't want to just be pouring them back like that. No, sip and savor. Yes, sip and savor. Because we're sophisticated theme park hipsters. We're going to enjoy ourselves around World Showcase. So definitely just, enjoy your drink, enjoy your wine, enjoy your beer, your craft beers. Think about the notes and all that fancy stuff people say to make the wine or beer seem like it's way better. Do take your vitamins prior to drinking around the world. You want to make sure that you take your vitamins, especially the B complex vitamin, as those are the vitamins that are quickly depleted when you are drinking around the world. It'll also help for you to not have such a crazy hangover at the end of your tour around the world. Because if you look at some of these videos on YouTube with people trying to complete this challenge, you know that by France, if they're starting in Mexico, by France, oh, it's done. It's over. I can't even watch some of these videos because I feel like I'm drunk. Don't use Tylenol. And I know that if you have some type of a hangover, if you have some type of ailment, you get hurt at Epcot or anything while you're drinking, do not use alcohol, as it can increase your chances of having any kind of liver damage. So you want to stick to Motrin if you can, if that's possible. Do know your limits. If you're not a drinker back home, I'm not judging, but if you're not a drinker back home, do not come to Epcot thinking, yes, I am going to conquer this today. Nah. If you don't drink cocktails and all you do is stick to a wine here and there, then this may not be for you. Just know your limits. Don't mix alcohol. Yes, this is that classic college tip when you're drinking. You don't want to mix your browns with your whites or your whites with your browns. So keep that in mind. If you're like, I'm not doing the wine and beer thing, I am diving into the cocktails. So just do not mix your browns. And what I mean by that is any liquor that has a brown color, do not mix that with any liquor that has a white color, which means if you like to drink the golden color of rum or tequila, then you may not want to be drinking vodka that day too. So, we've all had our experiences. We all had it. So I'm not judging anybody here. I'm just giving you some rules to survive this trip. Do drink Powerade or any type of electrolyte type of drink to kind of help replenish your electrolytes, because you will be drinking a lot. You most likely will be urinating a lot, which means that your electrolytes will be just coming out and you may get dehydrated. So in addition to water, definitely have Powerade, or if you like coconut water, have something like that with you. Don't try to tackle Snow White or climb the pyramid in Mexico. And I know you're like, why you gave me this? No, because people have tried to climb the pyramid in Mexico. Why do you think they have signs up there that says do not climb? Those signs weren't always there. It's because sometimes people just take it too far. This is not a frat party. This is Disney World. This is Epcot. There are families there. So just know your limits, like we said before, and just stay within your means with drinking. And that leads me to do exercise your judgment. You're at Disney. Do not forget that, because people just forget, when you're drinking, you kind of lose like who you would really be if you were sober. In Disney, they don't play that with the drinking, and they will escort you quietly behind scenes out of the park. So we have just went through the do's and don'ts. I want to give you a few tips to kind of help you be able to enjoy your drinking around the world tour. The first tip is to start early, but meaning start early around lunchtime. After you've already had your breakfast, you've already had your lunch, now you want to start in World Showcase, which usually opens up around 11 a.m. I'm saying to start early because it will give you time to pace yourself throughout the day instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do Magic Kingdom in the morning, head over to Epcot around 6 and try to guzzle 11 drinks in only a few hours. No, we're not going to do that. So start early. My next tip for you is to begin in Mexico. I know some people are like, begin in Mexico, begin in Canada. I'm a Mexico person. I like to go in there. I like to start off with my sangria. If I am in a drinking mood and I have friends with me, I might get an avocado margarita, but I'm just gonna start with my sangria and then I'm gonna work my way around in Canada. My next tip for you is to explore World Showcase. Yes, like I said, when you're pacing yourself, go through the nooks and crannies. That way you can enjoy your drinks and enjoy the luxury of learning about the different countries, the different cultures there, while you have their beverage in your hand. Tip 4 is to choose an authentic drink from that country. Like I said before, you want to stick to something that is very well known to that country, whether it be a particular wine, a particular beer, or a particular vodka or rum or tequila to that country. Tip number 5, like I said before, you want to avoid mixing alcohol as much as possible. That goes without saying. If you haven't done it before, just don't. My next tip for you is to stay hydrated. Have your water, have your Powerade, have your coconut water on hand, but definitely always drink your water and have Powerade or coconut water as like your backups for your electrolyte replenishment. My tip 7 is for you to have your snacks in between your drinks. We talked about that, but I just have to reiterate because these are survival skills for doing this Epcot bar lounge crawl. Tip number 8 is to have your own Drinking Around the World Showcase t-shirt. Over at ThemeParkHipster, we have our own version of Drinking Around the World. At Epcot, you can get your shirt so that people know that you are there for that special occasion. Tip number 9 is to know what you can expect to pay before you get there. Now, drinking around the world is no easy feat. It is quite expensive. You're going to expect to spend a minimum of $100 if you're trying to try each drink from each country. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but that's just how it is. It's Disney World, and alcohol in general is expensive. So if you add that plus Disney, yeah, you're gonna spend a minimum of $100 just on the drinks to drink around the world. That leads me to my next tip, which is to share your drinks. Yes, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to necessarily have the same cup, but if you really want to experience the unique cocktails and you're not a wine or beer person, then you just bring your own separate cup, little cup, and you guys can split the drinks and you taste it. That way you can split the drinks, not get overly drunk, and you can split the cost of drinking around the world with your friends. And my final tip is to just be kind to others. Let's just remember that we are at Walt Disney World. There are families there. There are people who have spent so much money to be here, and you do not want to ruin that vacation for them with the memory of Epcot's this place that people are drunk and trying to do push-ups in the middle of Germany, because I have seen people, men in particular, try to do push-ups in the middle of Germany because they're just so intoxicated. It just takes away the fun of Disney. So please do keep that in mind. There you have it. Those are the do's and don'ts and some tips for you to drink around the world at Epcot safely and still have a good time. Now, that wasn't too hard. I wasn't gonna leave you guys hanging. I was gonna hook you up. Remember that you can get your own Epcot Drinking Around the Passport down in the comment section below. And if you need to know everything you need to know about drinking around the world and you want a printed out copy, that's what you'll find in that passport. Until next time, happy park hopping hipsters.